Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's webinar, The Balancing Act, How to Create Impactful Events and Keep Your Budget Happy. We're actually coming to you pre-recorded. One of our speakers couldn't make us live today, but we are here to take some live Q&A at the end of the presentation. So please do engage with us. To ensure you get the most out of engaging with us today, I'm going to quickly walk you through the engagement panel. If you have clicked into the engagement panel, you'll see the chat. That's where you can introduce yourself, tell us where you're joining from. You'll also see a button for Q&A. That's where we ask you to drop all of your questions. You can also go into there and upvote questions others have submitted so that we make sure we get the questions answered with the most upvotes. And finally, you'll also see the surveys button. So before you leave and click out of Attendee Hub today, don't forget to take that survey. While you're here, hope you'll also spend some time exploring this Event Attendee Hub. That is the product we are using to stream today's presentation. You'll be able to access additional content and learn more about our products by clicking around through some of the resources that we've provided. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my co-speaker for today and get us started. Again, my name is Julie Haddix, and I'm Senior Director of Industry and Solutions Marketing here at Cvent. Been here for about going on 16 years, actually, working on a variety of capacities, but absolutely love helping meetings and events teams solve their problems through the use of technology. And I'm joined today by Abby Fogarty, another longtime industry veteran who is going to also help in today's conversation. Welcome, Abby.
Thanks, Julie. I'm excited to be here with you today, and thank you for that introduction. My name is Abby Fogarty. I'm a senior consultant with Cvent Consulting, and I've been with Cvent for about 8 years. So it's nice to be here with you all. Should we go ahead and get started, Julie?
Let's do it, Abby.
All right. Well, given our focus is on delivering an impactful event within a given budget, a big part of this is savings. So let's start by understanding the definition of savings, which is a reduction in money, time, or another resource. We're going to take a closer look at the definition and the first step to achieving savings a little later. So keep these elements of money, time, and another resource in mind as we walk through and talk about ways that the event technology can help you drive savings. Site visits, staffing, travel, and printing materials all come at a cost that are easily replaced by technology, such as digital room diagramming, self-check-in technology, mobile apps, and virtual platforms. Let's dive deeper into each of these solutions to understand how they can help you creatively reduce costs. First, Cvent diagramming. With over 30,000 venues, hotels worldwide, 3 billion square feet of map meeting space, planners are diagramming rooms for 100,000 events every month. These floor plans are to scale, so you can start eliminating that guesswork and all those PDFs. Save time by notifying your stakeholders when a change is made to the diagrams and offer an opportunity for them to provide feedback in real time. Real-time edits allow for easy communication and reduce the time spent on making decisions across the team. Can start to save money and spend more time in the office by evaluating the necessity for in-person site visits. So what do I mean by evaluating the necessity? It might be necessary to visit venues for your Tier 1 events while reducing this spend for Tier 2 and Tier 3 events. Instead, visually visit your venue with 3D realistic, 3D virtual site visits. You can add objects to your space and see them come to life. Evaluating the necessity might mean no longer executing site visits. This does depend on the type of events you plan. So at minimum, document the event profiles deemed necessary for an in-person site visit so that you can have guidance when you're making this decision moving forward. Let's take a look at how we can use self-check-in technology to reduce the registration desk staff. This is a familiar site. staff behind the registration desk, helping attendees, answering questions, locating badges, possibly reprinting badges, and tackling anything else that comes their way. Attendees are always going to need that registration desk staff. They'll never go away. Consider allowing this experience to be equally as high touch through an efficient self-service check-in experience. So instead, picture this. After managing attendee registration, booking the hotel, building the perfect schedule, and setting the perfect meeting space, this time has finally come. Your attendees have jumped on a plane, in a train, or in a car, and made it to the event. They walk up to the registration desk and there's no line. They self-check in by scanning their personal QR code or searching their name. The attendee has the option of editing elements of their name badge. I can't tell you the number of times I arrive and my name badge says Abigail when I actually prefer Abby. Their badge prints off. The person working the registration desk confirms their identity, hands them their badge, badge holder, and lanyard, and off they go into the event. The experience is simple, cool, and attendees say, "That's it?" Not only does this make you look like a superhero, you can reduce your registration desk staff and let them focus on ensuring success in other areas of the event. Another obvious reduction is time and money spent on pre-printing, organizing, and shipping badges before you go on site. Imagine this rather stressful and time-consuming effort to be off your plate as you prepare to go on site. The third technology to consider to directly reduce meeting costs is the mobile app and virtual platform. Mobile apps are small but mighty. The possibilities to reduce your spend while also helping you reach your sustainability goals are endless. We talked about reducing staff at the reg desk. If your mobile app includes all of your event resources, your attendees will have fewer questions because everything's at their fingertips. There are many ways of reducing event spend with a mobile app. Avoid paper, printing, and reprinting costs by taking all paper collateral digital in the app. By having these resources in the app, attendees can reference them anytime before, during, and after the event. The paper copies are often discarded or lost in the shuffle of the event anyway. Likewise, reduce your event material prints and reprints, including your agenda, in the app. Keeps everything in one place, and when things change, easy. Update the app and communicate real-time updates to attendees with push notifications. Consider areas you can reduce AV costs as well. For example, instead of handheld microphones in each breakout room, pivot to the app. Poll your audience throughout your presentation and collect questions. When Q&A time comes, your moderator can facilitate the portion with ease, as they are able to prioritize questions for the speaker to answer on stage. A venue map in the app can also reduce your physical signage expenses. Another printed material is your survey. Take your surveys digital. Not only will you save money in printing costs, this will save you time by efficiently consolidating your data to quickly implement attendee feedback for your next event. You can even execute session surveys and review these during your event so you can make an attendee feel heard and implement immediate changes to your event. Finally, consider virtual and hybrid. Travel, sleeping rooms, and food and beverage expenses make up most of your budget. When your meeting objectives permit, plan your event to be held in a location local to most of your attendees and host those who are not local via a virtual platform. This can also help you achieve sustainability goals. So, leveraging technology is a clear way to reduce costs and save you precious time. I'm sure your wheels are turning thinking of even more ways technology can save you time, money, and other resources. To create an impactful event and keep your budget happy, technology is an obvious solution. Scrutinize those manual processes and implement technology to drive savings, accuracy, and an improved attendee experience. Next, let your event technology do some of the heavy lifting. Apply your expertise where it is needed most at the event by turning your registration desk into a self service experience that is high tech and high touch. Third, we often see cost savings benefit as a result of sustainability efforts. In today's examples, we saw sustainability efforts as a result of cost savings. Track this quantifiable data for each event to see how you are saving money and the environment event by event. And finally, implementing technology such as room diagramming, on-site check-in, mobile apps, and virtual platforms at your event improves your attendee experience. While this is more difficult to quantify than cost savings, this enhancement is an important data point when evaluating your technology investments. All right, now that we're warmed up with replacing paper and manual efforts with technology to drive savings, let's hear from Julie on how digital services drive event value.
Thank you so much, Abby. And it's all about using technology to save time, save money, save costs. And I think those are some great tips to help everybody keep their budgets happy. As I said, now I'm going to dive into how to continue to use some technology to actually drive your event value. We all know that sometimes the conversation around your events is not always about how much can you save on each individual event, but what is the value of those events? How can you expand the reach, or how can you prove the impact of your event? So just want to talk through three quick ideas to help you use technology and digital tools to really drive your event value. The first one is going to be in how we are leveraging digital strategies to expand your reach through organic and especially free marketing channels. In the early days of online event registration, we always talked about how email marketing was going to reduce print invitation costs. Those days are long past, but over the years, we've seen a growth of paid digital advertising, list purchases, and content syndication that have brought those event promotion budgets back up. Now there are so many organic digital media channels that you can use to help you broaden your reach through of your online audience while reducing costs. So fun fact for everybody, the average smartphone user actually looks at their phone 300 plus times a day. That's a lot of social media use. And social media is a great, easy, and free way to market your event. So really, it's a no-brainer. There are 5 tips to help you use social media to promote your event. First, create a hashtag and stick with it, especially year over year as you build your audience and you build your brand. People will learn it and come back and engage with you. Run contests. Build ambassadors to be out there talking about your event and amplify your marketing reach. Be consistent. Don't just post about your event on social media one time and think that your job is done. Make sure you have a weekly strategy around social media engagement to really help promote your event. And last, interact with your followers. If people are direct messaging you and showing up in your DMs, respond back, build that engagement, build that rapport. Really make sure that your audience knows this is a channel that you're paying attention to and you're using and responding to them. Regular content of this type is really going to help to also improve your site's organic SEO and drive FOMO amongst a loyal attendee base. But of course, make sure that you're tracking and understanding where your registrants are coming from in order to refine your strategy year over year. So many people think a social media strategy means you need to be on every platform all the time. That is just not the case. You need to know where your audience is. For some of you in a corporate audience, they may be solely on LinkedIn. For those of you in associations or nonprofits, you might see more success in maybe a some LinkedIn, but also some Facebook and Instagram. For those of you at universities or who have a Gen Z audience, maybe you do want to investigate newer channels like TikTok. It would be really great if you spend some time understanding your audience and use those channels wisely. The next digital idea to cover is one that Abby touched on a little bit as well, and that is the use of virtual and webinars strategically. As Abby said, in person and the return to in person isn't necessarily always needed. Knowing your event objectives is really important when deciding which event format is the right fit for each of your events. Things like a training may be better accomplished virtually and leverage those in person dollars when you're really focused on networking and building interpersonal relationships. And finally, the last strategy to highlight is the connectivity of all of your technology to really drive and improve the impact of your events. Events, whether they're virtual, in person, or hybrid, collect millions of data touch points. And especially for those of you who are running marketing events, membership growth events, donor events, truly understanding how your audience interacts with your events and connecting that with the other touch points throughout that customer, member, student, donor journey is incredibly important to show how events are part of a larger mix and why it's worth spending money on an event versus maybe some other idea, or why this event we don't want to cut the budget because it is our most impactful event. So that ability to connect your event management technology like Cvent to the rest of your event technology stack is crucial to really prove the value of your events to your organization. And with those few ideas to help you really to think about how you're engaging technology differently to not just save costs, but also expand your audience and expand your reach, improve your impact, I'm going to hand it back to Abby to think a little bit more holistically to save money, not just at a single event, but across your entire event program.
Thanks, Julie. Those were great ideas. So we've talked about ways to replace expensive manual processes, exhausting both your time and budget, and some creative digital strategies to drive value. Let's use the rest of our time breaking down savings and how to benefit from data insights for application across all your events. First, how can we achieve savings? As planners, we are held to savings metrics and drive savings every chance we can. Let's take a moment to look at the definition of savings again, plus two key pieces to successfully save are visibility and control. So again, the definition of savings is the reduction of money, time, or another resource. We talked a little bit today about saving time with Cvent diagramming, on-site check-in, and mobile app. A planner's time is extremely valuable, and saving this can drive a more successful meeting and potentially reduce overall meeting costs. Let's talk about the last two words in this definition, another resource. We aren't talking about sustainability today, but you can apply these same methodologies to measuring sustainability. Next, the definition of visibility is the state of being able to see or be seen. If savings is reducing money, time, or another resource, we need to first know what we are starting with to know if we are reducing. Finally, the definition of control is the power to influence or direct the course of events. With the right visibility into data, both sides of the negotiating table can be more effective. If we put these in order of operations, we see them like this. Visibility plus control drives savings. So let's apply that to a very simple scenario. So we know that savings is the reduction of money and time. Reduction is the action of making something less in amount, degree, or size. To understand if we have reduced something, we must first understand what we're starting with. And sometimes that is the first offer from the venue or vendor. Let's say a vendor gave us a rate of $10,000 for their first offer. And we negotiate this down to $9,000. There is $1,000 in savings, which is great. We reduce the initial offer by $1,000, 1%, and therefore we say, boom, savings. What if you knew more walking into that conversation? What if you knew about the amount the previous event spent with this vendor? Or what the makeup of that event was, that profile? What if you knew how often your team worked with that vendor? Or you could calculate the statistics like the average spend with them or per person spend with them? Could this negotiation look different if you brought your own data insights to the conversation? So let's look at that again. Let's go back to your vendor's first offer of $10,000. Say you reviewed your data and determined this vendor offered a similar event with similar services, a first offer of $9,000. And that event also negotiated $1,000 of savings. What if the vendor still offered you that $10,000 and you could leverage your data insights to show their previous rate and get another $1,000 to $8,000? So you're spending the same amount as you did for that previous event, and you are actually saving. You can show a savings of $2,000 or 2% rather than the $1,000 or 1%. You've doubled your savings. This is the power of visibility, the state of being seen or being able to see, and that is the power of data. So let's talk about where data can be stored in your events to be leveraged for future negotiations. First, let's talk about our intake form. The intake form can collect consistent data points to provide planners and sourcing managers that consistent data to compare like event profiles and spend as they go into those vendor negotiation discussions. Next, using electronic RFPs to capture proposal rates and contracted rates provides sourcing managers valuable cross RFP savings insights. Again, considering this in the contracting phase can be so valuable. Next, remember how we talked about selecting a local venue to host most of your attendees while hosting the rest on a digital platform? Collect this information from historical registration data. Registration data collected in the RSVP process can tell you where your invitees are located, their travel preferences, and more. Leverage this information to determine the most cost-effective location for your event. Even if you do not use a virtual platform, consider the cost of flights when selecting a location is key to reducing your overall event spend. Your event's mobile app is tracking data which you can review for your engagement metrics. Engagement metrics can tell you if you invested in the right aspects of your event for future consideration. Your survey results are data insights that you can also leverage to get that attendee satisfaction for future recommendations. Your on-site check-in can help you to understand the most and least popular events and sessions based on actual attendee participation. This helps you to understand your attendees' preferences and interests. The on-arrival tool will collect session and event participation directly into your CVent event to be married with other data points in reports. Finally, spend, or budget, as we like to call it in CVent events. Defining savings calculations and documenting the life cycle of the event's budget from initial, contracted, planner negotiated, all the way through actuals provides planners, sourcing managers, and program owners measurable savings data points for future negotiations and budget planning. Now that we understand savings starts with visibility, where data can be stored and controlled in CVent, and how you can drive savings with those data insights, let's wrap this up, Julie.
Thank you so much, Abby. So for everybody, we were hoping that coming out of today's conversation, you get 3 big takeaways. First, some quick actionable uses of technology that you can implement for any of your upcoming meetings and events to help you save costs. Second, we wanted to give you some new ideas of ways to showcase the value of your event through digital technologies, whether it be by increasing your reach and increasing attendance, hosting some events virtually, or integrating your event technology with your other corporate systems to focus on proving the impact of events on your organization. Finally, Abby gave us some great tips for how starting with visibility and control allows you to amplify your savings and really exponentially increase the value of your event program and the savings that you can achieve by taking a more holistic event program look across all of your meetings and events. So before we cut to live Q&A, I want to leave you with this quick video summarizing what we covered today.
It can be difficult to keep your event budget under control. Here are some practical ways to save on event costs. First, use a single event technology to get full visibility into all the meetings and events across your organization. Identify duplicate programs, reduce scope, or find synergies to reduce overall cost. Use venue sourcing technology to get the best rates on your event space. Send RFPs to properties you may not have considered in the past. Then, leverage multiple bids to negotiate a better rate and track total spend with single properties to negotiate bulk discounts in the future. Finally, save money by continuing to host some events virtually. Delivering content through digital channels such as webinars and interactive experiences through web and mobile apps can be a fraction of the cost. With CVent, you have all the tools you need to manage and reduce your event costs. For any event, every event, we've got you covered.
Hi, everybody. My name is Mo Clement. I'm a Director of Accounts for CVent, and I'll be your moderator for the live Q&A. We have a couple of Q&A questions coming up, but again, just a reminder, if you have any Q&A, please use the right-hand side to drop all your Q&A questions into the chat, and then I will answer them. So we have a few questions right now. One question is, let's see, sorry. Are there sponsorship opportunities within the mobile app? And the short answer to that is yes. So really there's a multitude of options here. So you have, let's see, expo banners so that you can have that sponsor have a banner. You have custom game challenges. So if you have challenges throughout your event, you can actually have that sponsored by one of your sponsors. We have virtual booths. So those can also be sponsored. they have an exhibitor page, which actually has like little virtual cards that you can actually have those being sponsored. Some things like, again, when you're looking at the sponsorship on the mobile app, there's also sponsorship opportunities even in person, right? So online check-in, on arrival premium. So when you go into that, you can actually have them sponsor the skins. So there's a multitude of things. We'll definitely have more collateral for you to review if that is an opportunity for you. Another question, if you want to put that up. Can we use the event diagramming tool if we aren't using Cvent for registration? And the answer is yes. Even though we like to integrate that, you definitely can use that as a standalone as well. Next question. Let's see. Thanks, Erica. The diagramming option is great. How can planners get access to that? So that is a user-based tool and technology. And I would suggest you working with your account manager on that to get set up. So that's just something that we can basically turn on. Are there any other questions? Let's see. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. There's a lot going on that too, just in general. So there, as we get back into in-person, virtual, hybrid, Cvent can support you in any shape or form. But I think there were a lot of great points. We certainly know and have seen it throughout the last definitely 6 months that cost savings is top of mind. But also, engagement, how you can actually address and elevate your engagement with attendees, whether it be virtual or in person. Come on, guys. No more questions? Let's see. I got a couple more. Let's see. So just something, maybe some housekeeping notes. This will be available, this session. Love to hear your feedback. Sorry. We'd love to hear your feedback. So make sure that you do the survey on the right-hand side. The button the button shows you right there. Again, you can ask questions and the survey. Also, again, please take some time to come to, see where we're going to be located. We have upcoming webinars. Obviously May 4th, the planning power using event types to drive ROI. I think we have, again, obviously Cvent Connect is coming up in July in Las Vegas. So if you haven't registered, please register. It's a great opportunity. Also, before Cvent actually happens, the main event, we have a plethora of training events that really get a lot of action. I think it's an excellent time to, get trained on Cvent, but also have any kind of other things that you might want to become experts on. So I think we're going to be wrapping up soon. So if there are no more questions, we hope you enjoyed the webinar. And again, if you have any additional questions after the fact, please let us know and we'll answer them accordingly. Have a great day.